This video is all about our flare. This video is all about our flares. Specifically designed for our B46 race cars, but also available for purchase by a select few. I'll quickly go over our design considerations and other points, and what we think makes them pretty freaking great. So originally on the B46s up through car 5, we were using other off-the-shelf flares. Those flares were more generic than what we have designed, and they fit more E46 styles, which was obviously their designer's intent. But they take forever to install because they either line up with one key point on the car, like a molding or a bumper line, and nothing else, or they don't line up nicely with anything at all. For our purposes, they didn't look great and just barely fit a 275 tire. Even then, they took a fair bit of massaging and cutting. The final frustration was they make the track widths of the car equal, which is not good for a proper race car, as you really need the rear to be wider than the front for correct setup. So we were determined to make our flares look interesting and fit a wider tire like a 285 and in some specific cases a 295. We had to make some decisions and design them to a more specific setup. So our flares fit an E46 non-M pre-LCI coupe. They fit over the rear bumper and side skirts of the 325 and 330 of that generation. On the front, we matched it up to the M3 front bumper to get the proper width and look out of the kit. We also space out that front bumper slightly for tire clearance. When a large front tire is fitted, you tend to hit the bumper when you turn, and so usually it gets trimmed. Spacing it out is much cleaner, and so the leading edge of the flare meets up with that new position. It's a small detail that makes a big difference to the final look. Additional design features are they help hold the rocker panel on both front and rear, but also, just like the front bumper clearance issue, when you fit a large rear tire, it always hits the edge of the bumper in suspension compression, and not by a little bit. So we just cut the entire leading edge off the bumper and cover it with the flare to make it almost no work to have a finished look. Our flares are vacuum formed with precision molds out of high-grade ABS plastic. They're CNC finished, so they fit incredibly well and can be bonded with a polyurethane adhesive instead of riveted.
It took maybe 3 hours of just putting one arch on.
We initially looked at using composites like fiberglass or carbon, but settled on ABS for its durability and flexibility to fit small variances in body panel or bumper alignment. This is especially useful for drift cars, where body parts often don't line up quite right. The material choice is also an order of magnitude cheaper to manufacture per unit if you want to produce more than 50 sets, which we needed for our B46 race cars beyond anything else. And because of that cost savings, the big upside of our material choice is our racer replacement program. Most people race to win and contact happens, sometimes with walls, sometimes with other cars, sometimes with your trailer. So if you buy a set of our flares and damage one or more, just send us a picture and we will send you a replacement at 50% off retail pricing. Thanks for watching, and head to strommotorsports.com to pick up a set.